Beep, 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 beep. The latest news hints that the Denver Broncos are set to stop their 16-game losing streak against their biggest rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're doing it at home this Sunday in the Mile High City, 5,290 feet above sea level. They are about to send Pat Mahomes packing. Here's the latest news as to why I know that's going to happen. First big update this week that helps me know that we are going to beat the Chiefs is just how Sean Payton was not happy against that win last week against the Packers. As we laid out in our last video, we truly trounced the Packers, yet Sean Payton couldn't even enjoy a nice sushi dinner with his family because he was not satisfied. He is moving on to next week, and one win at home is not enough because do you know what? Sean Payton is the winningest coach in NFL history in the month of October. And that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but Google it. You know what? I Googled it. You check it out on the screen. Sean Payton beats out Bill Belichick. Guys like Lombardi, who the big trophy is named after. Sean Payton wins in October. And yeah, we've been pretty bad this year as a Broncos squad, but two of our only two wins were both in the month of October. And guess when we play the Chiefs? Yeah, October. So I think he's going to keep that streak going. That's just one reason. The other big piece of news that dropped this week was our injury report. We hear all the time in the NFL that the greatest ability is availability. And if you look at our injury report after we lost Tim Patrick at the start of the year, we've been relatively injury-free. And if you look at our injury report that the Broncos.com just tweeted out, we are in the clear. We're not missing any of our dudes who I would be worried about us missing. Other huge big piece of news was just looking at how fired up the Broncos were with the Kareem Jackson suspension, that many of them came out to defend him. It does not look like the Broncos have phoned it in. It does not look like they've given up. We see them celebrating the win. We see just the video that they tweeted after they beat the Packers at home and got our first home win of the season. They are fired up, and even though a lot of people in Broncos country have started talking about tanking for Williams, that is definitely not the culture inside. Now, all of that could change on Sunday, but it hasn't changed yet, and it won't change because we are going to win. If you look at the Chiefs injury news, they are missing their starting linebacker. So I think that's another great sign that they're missing a starting linebacker, and that defense was truly what stopped the Broncos from winning on Thursday night. Another big thing, big piece of news, I think, is the weather this week. Crazy that this is already happening because I thought October in Denver, we get 300 days of sun a year, but there is a chance of snow, a big chance of snow, up to 6 inches this weekend, perhaps. And whether or not there's actually accumulation on the field, it is going to be wet and nasty. And anyone who's tried to play catch outside when it's wet and nasty knows that it doesn't feel good. And so I think that definitely favors the Broncos. It slows down that Kansas City Chiefs high-powered offense. And I know you might look back at Pat Mahomes' game that I still see in my nightmares sometimes back in 2019. Tons and tons of snow, and it just felt like the ball never hit the ground. That game in 2019 that has been relived on NFL moments and all that kind of stuff. Pat Mahomes actually threw for 340 yards. And so people have said, oh, Pat Mahomes is a snow quarterback. He just thrives in the snow. But I think that was a really, really fluky game. And I'm no meteorologist. I'm not like a Eskimo who knows a ton about snow, but I just think there's different like kinds of snow. And I've played in a turkey bowl before when it was just like that perfect snow, and like the ball did kind of stick to your gloves because it just had a different consistency. And looking at the forecast on Sunday, it's supposed to be rainy and wet and nasty. So I don't think it's that like light, fluffy snow that Mahomes is going to be loving. I think it's going to be sopping and cold, and it's going to hurt hands when it hits the ball. When the ball hits their hands, it's not going to feel good. So I think that's also a great, great sign. Last sign that I think that the Broncos are going to win on Sunday is that if you look at the Chiefs, this is your classic trap game. They had a huge game last week against the San Diego. I almost said San Diego. It was back when we had this logo. They were San Diego Chargers, but now the LA Chargers. And they got totally hyped for that game. Taylor Swift was at that game. The whole world was on it. It was like the main game on the national broadcast, and they got up for it, and it was a fantastic game. Next week, they fly across the ocean and play in Germany and play Miami. And so they've had these two huge games. They know they have a ton of travel coming, and they've been our daddy for the past 16 games, like the Nuggets are to the Lakers. They've been our daddy. And so, of course, they think they're about to play their little brother. But what they don't know is they're not playing their little brother. They're playing Sean Payton, who is the best coach in the month of October. They're playing Russell Wilson, who's got a chip on his shoulder so big that it should be a Tostitos commercial. We need to win. We're going to win. If we don't win, the entire direction of this channel changes. It changes into how should we rebuild going forward. But as for now, I have hope. Call me Ted Lasso. I believe that we are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is the 3 pieces of news that show that we're going to do it. It's a trap game for the Chiefs. The weather is in our favor. Sean Payton is a beast in the month of October. We haven't given up on this team. Man, look at all these reasons to believe. And our injury report lines all of it up. So please, will you like and subscribe to this channel so that we all can hop on here and just have the most obnoxious after party celebration when we snap the 16-game winning streak that the Kansas City Chiefs boast over the Denver Broncos. Broncos country, it's happening. Believe and let's ride.